This is a physics question about the coefficient of friction, coefficient of kinetic friction. A horizontal force of 400 newtons, that's the applied force, is required. That's the force that's being applied to it. To pull a 1760 Newton trunk, that is the weight, across the floor at a constant speed. If the speed is constant, that means the acceleration is 0, and that means the net force is 0. And then what is the coefficient of friction between the trunk and the floor? Remember that net force is equal to the applied force minus friction. And in this case, the net force is 0 equals the applied force minus friction. And if I add friction to both sides, friction equals the applied force. So in this case, that's 400 newtons. So I know the friction is 400 newtons, and it equals the applied force. It also equals the coefficient of kinetic friction, times the weight, which is 1760. That is a formula for friction. Friction equals the coefficient of friction times the weight. And so now if I divide both sides by 1760, 400 divided by 1760, the units are going to cancel out. Newtons cancels with newtons. This is just going to be a coefficient. It's got no units. And that's approximately, you'll use a calculator to do this. I've already done it. 0.2273. And I don't have enough room to write it. Always run into some kind of a snag. 0.2273. So there's the answer. This is the exact answer, 400 divided by 1760. So that's how to find the coefficient of friction. And in this case, it was very important that it was a constant speed so that the net force was 0.